So,
All right, good evening.
this is Stanley with the Diaspora magazine.
Nice to see you again,
Nice to
Stanley.
see you. Welcome back.
Thank you.
The last time you and I spoke, you told me you were traveling to Nigeria. How was your experience there?
Oh, it was good. I just came back this past December.
Okay,
Yes.
that's good. Okay, as the CEO of Chima Medical Mission International, what is that you're trying to achieve?
Chima Medical Missions International, I formed it in 1997 when I finished my training as a surgeon. And having grown up in Nigeria, in fact, in my town, there was no doctor when I was growing up.
Oh, wow.
I never saw a doctor until I went to high school, Government College Award.
Okay,
So we had a nurse practitioner, Mr. Cyril Ekanya, that used to treat us when we had malaria or different ailments. And I saw the way he was respected in the community, the way he took care of people, even when they didn't have money, he would still take care of them. So that's why I got the burden to study medicine and to one day go and give back. So I formed that organization, it's a non-profit organization,
okay,
so that I can then go back with my colleagues,
okay.
with different specialties, to go and provide free medical and surgical care.
And Nigeria or anywhere else?
In Nigeria and also around the world, even in the US,
Okay,
in Mexico,
okay.
in Guatemala, and
Okay.
even Honduras. I've done missions in all these places. with other
Impressive.
associations, yes.
Okay. So how do you support your mission? Is it based on charity donations or is it personal funded?
So it's a combination.
Okay.
Yeah, we invest. My wife and I invest part of our tithes.
Okay.
I'm a Christian,
Okay.
so we give to the church, but also part of our tithes we give to Shima Medical Mission to
Okay.
actually help people practically. And on top of it, because it's a non-profit organization,
Right.
people can donate even online. Go to chimamedicalmissions.com,
Okay.
and it's a tax-deductible donation. And then there are some organizations, pharmaceutical companies, that also give us products at discount
Okay.
and medicines that we can take back.
Oh,
That's
sweet.
how we support it.
Okay. Wow. So what key values do you trying to implement?
Well, our motto is really to share God's love around
God's
the world
love. Okay.
by providing service. In this case, the service I know best to provide is the medical service because that's my profession.
Okay.
And not just the service, we're also trying to build capacity
Okay.
wherever we go. So whenever we go on missions, we have local providers, doctors, nurses, social workers, etc., that we work with, and then we share our skills with them and also learn from them. Some of
Absolutely.
the people there can be very creative
Oh, wow.
because it's a resource scarce environment.
Absolutely.
Be it in Nigeria or Guatemala, any of these developing countries, the physicians and healthcare providers there have become very innovative and know how to take care of things without all the fancy things we have, say, in the US. So we learn from them too, and they learn from us.
Oh,
So
sweet.
that when we're not around, they can continue practicing what we've taught them, and also we can learn and improve some things that they do.
So how would you measure success within the field?
Okay, success is when we go. First, on a typical medical mission trip, we see about 5,000 patients
Okay.
in a week,
Okay.
and we do surgeries anywhere from 70 to 100 operations,
Okay.
different types. So the value or the quality is measured by the lives we touched.
Okay.
So those people we operated on, say somebody who has a big hernia, one
Yeah.
of my patients had a huge hernia
Okay.
going down to his knee,
Wow.
and he was widowed. He couldn't get married. He was ashamed to meet another woman because of this
Yes.
big hernia, and he couldn't get a job. Interestingly, this was in Owerri, Nigeria, at the General Hospital years ago. I was operating on him under spinal anesthesia, and toward the end of the operation, he started crying. And I thought maybe he was in pain because the medicine was wearing off.
Absolutely.
But no, he was telling everybody when they told him we were done, that now we've given him a new chance in life. That now he can go and get married, now he can go and get a job and provide for his family. So those successes are priceless, and it's one life at a time.
Oh, wow. That's so impressive. Okay. Being one time president of American Cancer Society, what have you learned from that? And why do you think you actually qualified to be that president at that period?
So yeah, in 2011, 2012,
Okay.
I was the president of the
Yeah.
American Cancer Society, California division.
Okay.
We have different divisions in different states. And I got interested because cancer, even during my training, is something that is on the rise, even though we have all the technology and everything. So how can we prevent cancer?
Okay.
Was what drove me into getting involved. And in the process now, I joined the organization because they do a lot of good. The American Cancer Society is number one authority when it comes to cancer. Wow. Any quotation, any statistics you want, that's where we get it. And they also not just worry about research. They've funded about 48 Nobel Prize winners in cancer research. They also are involved in advocacy, which is a big part. Because the solve cancer problem is not just based on medicine and research that we do, but we have to implement it, public health. For example, smoking, for example, is a big one.
Right.
Smoking is, I would say, the number one cause of preventable death worldwide. In the past, everybody used to smoke. Even doctors smoked. Okay. It was okay. Okay. But as time went on, we found out association between smoking and a lot of cancers, especially lung cancer, even breast, bladder, etc. But even though we knew it was bad, we couldn't ban it in public places until we got involved with advocacy, where we go to our leaders, the senators, the House of Representatives, all legislators, and make them sign a commitment to ban tobacco and smoking. That's why now, when you go to restaurants, nobody smokes in the restaurant. When you fly your aeroplane, there's no smoking in the plane. These are all due to efforts of organizations like American Cancer Society, American Lung Association, to push the legislation. It takes only one signature from the governor or the president to make this a law. So it's a combination, not just the medical aspect, the research and prevention, but the advocacy to get what we know out there and to make effect and change people's life for the better.
Wow. It's impressive. You have received countless prestigious awards. Can you tell us a little bit about that? And which one of the awards do you think is more dear to you?
Well, I do what I do not to get awards, incidentally. But people know. So along the way, the American Cancer Society, since we just finished that, gave me their St. George National Awards, which is the highest award offered in the organization. And in the nation, it was only 24 of us. And that meant a lot because I put a lot of time and effort in teaching and advocating for the things we talked about for the American Cancer Society. Okay. Yeah. Besides that, I've gotten awards from even Kaiser Permanente, where I work, for the mission things that I do, and even from our people back home. Recently, we were in Abuja, capital of Nigeria, April of 2019. I was there with a team of 70 healthcare providers. The largest mission to Nigeria that I'm aware of. Wow. And the AMIA of Jiwa, which is in the Federal Capital Territory, is Dr. Idris Musa, was so excited, so overjoyed with the things we were doing, the surgeries and all the medical care with, that he, on the spot, he gave 4 chieftaincy titles to the leaders of the Association of Nigerian Physicians in the Americas. That's the group I went with to do it. In fact, I was in my scrubs in the theater when they came and just gave it as an honor. So when your own people recognize you, that actually means a lot.
It speaks volume, yes.
And in fact, this December that I went, I just came back. Right. Yeah. The Eze in my town also gave a chieftaincy title for the work that I do. So those mean a lot. Wow,
interesting. All right, so based on your beliefs and values, how would you regard volunteerism?
Well, volunteerism is one of the best things we can do in life. You know, because we are all blessed in this country.
Absolutely.
Being alive, being healthy is a blessing. We take it for granted, getting up every morning. And there are people who are less fortunate in all parts of the world. So if you can give your talent, your time, that's the essence of our being. That's why God put us here. People say, okay, God blessed me. Yes, God blesses us miraculously, but God works through us to bless people, I believe. So if God wants to bless you, and He can bless you through me, and vice versa, then you can be a blessing to someone else. And that's how we propagate the gospel of Jesus Christ, who was blessing to everybody, was a healer, and preached peace. If we can just learn a little bit from him, there'll be no wars. We'll care for each other, and we can help. So volunteerism, I encourage everybody to do it.
Okay.
And,
A lot of people that have known you or have had conversation with about you, the first thing they say, you're a very humble man. Is it based on your Christianity beliefs or based on just whom you are?
well, it's a combination.
Okay.
I think humility, from my family, my dad was a Baptist minister, and my mom was a school teacher, and I observed them. But more importantly, I mentioned Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
From my belief,
Yeah.
who was God? In the beginning was the Word, that was Him.
Absolutely.
And the Word was with God,
God,
and the
yeah.
Word was God.
God, yeah.
Now to come in human flesh and die and suffer, that's the ultimate humility. So if somebody who has everything in life, more than living life, can come and die for you and I, for our sins, then we should be very humble about everything we do. And I've learned that regardless how good you think you are in your field, there's somebody better than you. That's the thing. So if you remember that, then you're humble, then you can be elevated by your works and by people, what people see. And then God gets glory. If we do something and we're too proud, then we are getting the glory. That's not the essence. The essence is you humble yourself, do your work, no ulterior motives. Guess what? He gets the glory. Then he elevates you, even though you kept yourself humble. Christ was born in a manger. Think about it.
Yes.
Not in a 5-star hotel.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the ultimate humility. So that's where I get inspiration from. And it's not easy being a Nigerian and being humble. It's almost a clash of
Exactly.
culture.
Exactly. That's why I was asking the question.
Yes.
Yeah. So at what point do you think that maybe you being nice or being humble, people take your kindness for weakness? At what point do you feel that way? Or do you ever feel that way?
I don't feel that way. The people sometimes take advantage.
Okay.
Yeah. So everybody I give benefit of a doubt. So
Okay.
if I meet you, as far as I'm concerned, you're a good person. You're a nice person. Because God has commanded me to love you, regardless what you do. Not because of your looks, not because of your position or what you do for me. Until you prove me wrong. So I'll trust you, I'll work with you, but then once you prove me wrong, I learn from it. And then I pull back. So initially, yeah, people may think, they'll take advantage of me and I'll go along, but it's temporary. If they are good people, it's a long-lasting relationship. But if I see that, there's dishonesty and they want to take advantage of me, then I pull back and I learn from it.
You also indicated earlier today that you have been to Africa, been to Guatemala, I believe, been to even here in America. Which of this mission do you consider yourself motivating, and why?
Well, for me, the most important is the Nigeria one.
Okay.
Yeah, because, in fact, I tell people who know me well, even for the Nigerian Physicians Association, which I'm the chair of the medical mission, when I tell them my goal is actually for medical mission to end, it's almost contradictory. I said, I don't think we should be having medical mission regularly. But because of condition in Nigeria, for example, our healthcare system is very bad. Very bad. So that state makes it necessary for people like me to come from outside, from the diaspora, to come and help. But ideally, my ultimate goal is if we had a good healthcare system in Nigeria, then we need to go regularly. We can do telephone conference, we can do video conference, we can, if our expertise is needed. Everything will be available locally. And that's a long-term dream because over the years, sadly, I've not seen improvement in our healthcare system back home. So that's what still motivates me to go back and not just give the medical, but part of the things we do is advocacy.
Okay.
In fact, we're planning our mission for this year in April to Calabar. Last year, I told you we're in Abuja. We go to different parts of the Nigeria.
Yeah.
And not only do we do the medical surgical mission, we do education, basic education for preventive health.
Okay.
Also, what we call continued medical education, or in Nigeria they call it continued professional development (CPD),
Okay.
for our colleagues, to be current of what's going on in medicine in the world. And finally, we do what we call advocacy,
Okay.
where we go to Abuja, the capital of Nigeria. We meet with the legislators, we meet with the Minister of Health, the Nigerian University Commission, all these stakeholders that control education and health policies in Nigeria, to push the agenda for a better health care, better budget, which we can do. We have the resources, we just got to
Put the
it in the right
focus
spot.
right.
Exactly, focus.
All right. I mean, it's so interesting. Someone from the east working towards the north. I mean, referring to Nigeria right now and being recognized by the AMIA of that location. How do you think people feel about that? Do you think that you're using that to gain political points, or do you just think that they believe that you're just doing something you love doing? Can you
Yes.
elaborate on that?
Yeah, so for me, I believe in the one Nigeria
Okay.
concept.
Okay.
Although we have to look at that politically,
Okay.
see if it's working or not. But I
Okay.
won't get
Okay.
into
So it's a
politics
different
now.
conversation.
It's a different conversation another time. So, and the premise is God has commanded us to love
Yeah.
and has given us talent to help. So whether it's in Nigeria or in the US, in here, even though we have abundance here, there are people who are uninsured. There are immigrants that come in from Nigeria, from Mexico. They don't have insurance. They do get sick. So there are some clinics here called federally qualified clinics that cater to these uninsured people. I volunteer my time there, here in the US, to help. Same thing like in Nigeria or Guatemala. So it doesn't really matter if it's north, south, or west. It's human. And that's how we should look at it. We've been to Lagos, about 3 years ago, we were in Lagos. And before that, we were in Anambra State and in Jos and Abuja. Like I told you, we're going to Calabar. Next year, 1 year, maybe Owerri in Imo State. So different parts of Nigeria to just share the skills and things that we have until our system becomes better, that we don't have to go, like I mentioned, all the time.
So how do you select your location?
Good point. For Chima Medical Mission, typically I go to my town, where I go to Imerienwe, where I was born. I'm out of Imerienwe.
Okay.
To my church. Regardless where I go, I end up there to give them care.
Okay.
So that one is simple. Now, when I go to different parts of Nigeria, I do that with the Association of Nigerian Physicians in the Americas, AMPA.
Okay.
You go to ampa.org, you see what we do. So that's a body of about 4,000 Nigerians here in the US and Caribbean. And we have a board of directors and we have an executive board that then decides. We try and move it around to different parts of Nigeria. Yes. The ones I do in Guatemala or in Honduras is through actually North American Taiwanese Medical Association, which a bunch of, again, Taiwanese physicians, Taiwanese heritage physicians here in the US have a reputation like our AMP organization. But some of them work with me at Kaiser, and they know what I do. So they invited me as a surgeon to go with them.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's how I go to different places.
Okay. Doctors Without Border.
People don't know much about their
They are widely
health,
known. Have you ever collaborated with them?
Not directly. I donate to them.
Okay.
Yes, Doctors Without Borders is a wonderful organization. Yeah, and Medicine Sans Frontiers, French.
Absolutely,
yes. So I've not done work with them directly, although I tried to do in Haiti during the earthquake. But I do support in terms of financial donation. But because of all this, each year I do at least 2 or 3 missions. So it's hard to fit all of them in. So I have my own Chima Medical Mission plus the Nigeria one plus these ones I told you. By the time I've done that, there's not too much time left to, do with Doctors Without Borders. But in the future, I'm considering working with them and also with the American College of Surgeons. They also have such outreaches.
All right. Speaking of time, knowing that your job can be overwhelming and very time consuming, how do you map out time to spend quality time with your family?
Well, that calls for time management. And also, you have to have an understanding wife.
Okay.
I've been blessed. My wife, Ada, she's a nurse. She has a Bachelor of Nursing, worked. Then we have children. And she now just finished her master's in social work. Actually, part of it was because of this mission. So she bought into the vision when I met her. I met her in 1996, and I told her what I was thinking and how I wanted to go back home and help. And she's from Nigeria, so she also has the same vision. And actually, during the process, as we go home in the village and give the medicines and do the surgeries, she observed that people need more than just that. So sometimes I see a patient, I give them medicine, or if I don't have the medicine, I write prescription. They can't even go and buy it. So they're there looking at me and say, "Oh God, we don't have money." So we're also doing social service, where giving them money, giving them clothes, and providing other things besides medical. That's why she decided to do work in social work. So somehow we can blend it, the social services and the medical services into a hybrid. So having someone like that is very helpful.
Okay.
And then she knows that, when I'm gone, I'm gone. But when I'm not traveling, when I'm not at work, I don't go anywhere else. I'm here with the family.
Sweet. You also play soccer. How good are you?
Oh, very good. I played soccer, ever since I can remember. Growing up in Nigeria, we start, I would play barefoot. So I was pretty good.
Okay.
Then, when I went to Government College Owerri,
Okay.
I didn't know how good I was till I got there. And we're having inter-house sports where each dormitory plays another one.
Yes.
And I was, first year, very fresh in the school. Nobody knew me. And our house was playing a house that was the better. We had all the school players in there who were underdogs. So during the game, I was playing right wing, and I rushed up, crossed the ball, but maybe the wind or something blew it, went into 90 angle goal.
Whoa.
I became famous overnight.
Whoa.
Played on the school team, then came here, went to Baylor University in Texas, and was on the school team, was a co-captain. And I've played ever since,
Nice.
Back then, soccer wasn't too popular in the U.S.
Okay.
So there was no professional league or anything to continue. So otherwise, I wanted to be a professional soccer player and a physician. My inspiration for that was a Brazilian player named Socrates.
Okay.
He is a medical doctor.
Wow.
And also played on the Brazilian national team. So
Okay.
that was my inspiration and my goal, was to be like Socrates. Okay. Yeah. But... yeah.
Okay, great. Some people might actually want to be you. What advice do you have for them?
Okay. Yeah. Well, it's a flattering, first of all. Yes, to want to be me. But advice is, first you got to have a dream.
Okay.
I thought I'm going to be a physician when I was age 5. Your parents ask you, what do you want to be?
Yeah.
So I told them, based on my experience, I didn't see any doctors as we were growing up. So first, you got to have a dream and believe in it. Then 2, you have to work hard at achieving that dream. Nothing comes easy. You have to study. If you want to be a doctor, for example, you have to study. You have to make the good grades. C's won't make it. You got to make A's, some B's. So you got to be, dream. You got to work hard and be prepared. And for me, actually, it's a miracle. When I came here as a freshman, people advised me not to study medicine because as a F1 student, foreign student, it's hard to get into medical schools. If you get any, maybe the private ones, how do you pay for it? My parents, a Baptist minister and a school teacher, couldn't afford it. However, because I believed, I worked hard, and I was prepared, opportunities presented, and I took advantage of it. And finally, to me, to be balanced, the soccer, exercise, the physical, the mental, the spiritual too. You got to be relationship with God, I believe. For me as a Christian, it's Jesus Christ and God. But even if you're not a non-Christian, you have to have a communication. There's a higher power out there. Because there's going to be some challenges. There's going to be some roadblocks, some disappointments. And how you deal with that. When you have failure, it's not the end of the world. It's okay. Failure actually makes you stronger if you learn from it, and then you exceed. So those are the advice I have for anybody aspiring to do this. And they can do it. If I can do it, anybody can do it if they put their mind to it.
Good to know. So if it comes here in America, precisely, they have this preconceived notion about Nigeria or Africa, based on a few incidents that happened recently about few guys being caught doing some bad stuff. Those kind of negative image tend to shadow whom we are as people who works hard, somebody like you. What message do you give out there? But it seems like the Western media is not doing us a big favor by focusing more on the negative part of the diaspora. What message do you have for them?
Well, first of all, that's why I'm grateful for people like you who are telling our story.
Okay.
We have to tell our story. If we don't, somebody else will tell the story for us. And it's called history, his story, if you break it down.
Absolutely.
You understand?
Yeah.
So we have to change the narrative. People like you, people like Imerienwe, Life and Times magazine, and other people that are, in the publishing thing, we have have to tell our story. So, but for the Western media, they sell what, I guess they tell stories of what sells.
What sells, yeah.
And unfortunately, bad news travels fast.
Absolutely.
Bad news sells.
Yeah.
So that's their motive. But, Nigerians, interestingly, are the most educated immigrants.
Absolutely.
In this country.
Absolutely.
More Nigerians are educated than Americans.
Absolutely.
Okay? So, and there are people way in higher capacity than myself that are doing well. So they are good people. But just in America, there are bad people too.
Absolutely.
But, it depends how the story...
Please stay with me. According to the United States Census Bureau, 4% of Nigerians hold a PhD. That, folks, is compared to 1% of the general U.S. population. They're way ahead. Also, 17% of Nigerians hold a master's degree and 37% have bachelor's degrees. These are people who are supposedly have no merit. According to data provided by Rice University in Texas, Nigerian Americans, folks, they are the most educated ethnic group in the United States. Sounds like
they're good people. But just in America, there are bad people too.
Absolutely.
But, it depends how the story is told. So Nigeria is very blessed. There's a lot of people, almost 180 million people. We have the human resources, capacity. We work hard. They say Nigerians, they carry last. We don't want to be last at all. We work hard in everything we do. If you go to any discipline, besides medicine, you go to astronomy, you go to people going to the space, even the internet, electric car, or the vote, Nigerian, I can go on and on about the list, So we're doing well. What I hope is our country to realize that, Nigeria, to realize the talent we have. So that's one good thing about the U.S. U.S. opens its borders to bring immigrants. Immigrants make them stronger, okay? Look at the Tesla, look at Amazon, all these people.
Absolutely.
These are all immigrants. If Nigeria can realize that and give her children opportunity to come, what is that? Safety. Create a safe environment that we can come. Basic infrastructure, the light, important one. Roads. Believe me, most of us will go back home and establish. Can you imagine all these people I told you that are the most highly educated people in the diaspora go back to Nigeria where we live in peace and develop? We should be able to have our own internet magnet and do anything we want. So I hope our leaders are listening. That's my dream. Is one day we have somebody that says, yes, let's make this just basic things. Security, peace, road, and electricity. Based on that, believe me, a lot of people will go home. We establish Nigeria. Nigeria, with their economy, with their population, will be very powerful in the world, not just in Africa. And we have the resources. So.
All right, Doctor, that's all we have for you tonight. It was nice talking to you. It's very informative. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks for you watching.